Hey friends, I'm Jer Stays. It is Tuesday, May 17th, 2022, and welcome to Your Daily Detroit. Today we're focusing on a single topic, and it's going to be something fun. We're going to talk about the Michigan Science Center and a new thing that they've got going on, so let's just jump right into it. Joining me on the line, Dr. Christian Greer. He is the MySci president and CEO. He's here to talk to me about a new exhibit called POPnology at the Science Center, as well as some of the great things that are happening this year. Dr. Greer, welcome to Daily Detroit, I believe for the first time.
Yes, this is my first time, Jay. I really appreciate you having me on the show.
So when I saw this come across my desk to open up later this month on the 22nd, I just wanted to talk about it. You're speaking my language. What is the idea of fusing kind of pop culture things along with science? I think this is a great way maybe to kind of open the doors for people who, at first might not be as interested, but when you throw in pop culture, they're going to be there for it.
Jerry, you're absolutely right. And you mentioned you were a giant nerd, and this exhibit is just for you. It really is an interesting way to connect people to STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math concepts and process skills when the on-ramp is pop culture. So the things that, whether it's music or movies or other kinds of activities that we see, action figures, and merchandise that really promote these ideas, whether it's an astronaut or a robot. This exhibit features all of those things and gives you an opportunity to think about just how it's happening right in front of us right now. Meaning the technology that we're using that seems so advanced today will at some point look archaic. And new things that come up in science fiction or fantasy films that show different kinds of technology that hasn't been developed yet will happen probably in your lifetime. And so featuring things like the first cell phones and, connecting it to Star Trek tricorders and communicators, those kinds of things inspire the next generation of engineers to create this kind of technology. And this exhibit kind of merges all those things in one.
Yeah, and there are going to be some very cool replicas to check out, right?
That's right. We have a lot of different replicas that people will find extremely familiar, like the Terminator 2 replica of the robot, as well as an R2-D2, some astromech droids. And I think one of the features is the Delorean from Back to the Future, is a replica. And it looks just like the one in the film. If you like that film, if you wanted to go back to the future and sit inside of that DeLorean, I can't sit inside the one we have, unfortunately. But you'll get an opportunity to see it, take pictures in front of it, and maybe have your own experience with this technology and pop culture sort of merged together as one.
Those are the kinds of things that everybody kind of knows. I was in Chicago a few weeks ago. I went to a coffee shop that somebody had bought a frame for a DeLorean and stuck it in the back, and I was just mesmerized by it. So being able to actually get close to it would be getting close to one, and of course a little bit more detailed is going to be very cool. So when it comes to STEM, the Michigan Science Center is doing a lot of different things, right?
We are. You'll see on our website, if you go to my-sci.org, that's mi-sci.org here, and your audience goes to that website, you'll see a lot of things that we're doing. But what you'll see up front is sort of our value proposition, as well as our mission statement, which is we put you at the center of science. And the reason why that's important is that people sometimes feel on the outskirts of science, like it's not for them. Maybe they got a not so great grade in a science or math class and somebody told them that science isn't for them. Well, that's just flat out not true. If you are a human being and you think about things and you imagine answers to questions that you have and you pursue a process, the scientific process of finding those answers, gathering evidence, making hypotheses, trying to draw conclusions and create better explanations, then you are a scientist. To be a scientist is really to be human. These are things we do every day, whether it's comparing cantaloupe at the grocery store or trying to figure out the best toothpaste. And if you ever did a science fair project where you came up with a question and tried to find that answer through science, that's what it's all about. So we want to promote that and give people an opportunity to feel empowered by science, technology, engineering, and math, coming up with some ideas or inventions. How many times have you seen something on television or in the store and said, gosh, I came up with that idea. I should have invented that. And the only difference between the person that invented it is you is they went through the process to get it copyrighted or patented, and they went through that process, but the ideas are still in your head. So we want to try to promote that. And this exhibit, POPnology, gives you an idea to think about what the future might be like. And many of our young children and students coming through the exhibit perhaps will create the next cell phones or communication devices, or even things more incredible like a warp drive. Who knows?
Now that would be a lot of fun. That would be a warp drive.
That's right.
I think I could use that on my commute. So there are a number of other features with the Science Center that are open or back open that I wanted to make sure to mention because, every time I've taken my nephew to the Science Center, things like that, it's great because there's multiple things to do. And I think, what happened the last couple of years kind of got us all off our game a little bit. And you're back in the swing of things.
It did get us off our game. And just as a side note, Jared, be my guest next time. Give me a ring when you're coming by. I'll give you a private tour for you and your nephew so you can enjoy the Science Center. It is a really challenging thing to operate a facility with staff during a pandemic when you know that there are challenges with people getting to your facility, feeling safe at the facility, and that sort of thing. But we created a concerted effort in 2020 to make sure that we were safe. As a matter of fact, we were ranked in one of the top 10 safest things to do in Detroit and one of 2 indoors facilities. So we tried to pursue that process of making everyone feel comfortable because we're a family-oriented organization. But fast forward to 2021, when we had the summer rainstorms, you may recall, we had a massive sewer backup inside the Science Center that shut down our entire lower level, destroyed our IMAX theater.
Really?
Disabled our elevators. It was a disaster. And, my heart sank after we worked so hard to stay open during the pandemic. We were only shut down for less than 100 days. And we won an award for our digital programs called Echo Live. We were on the news quite a few times featuring what you could do during the pandemic while being at home, only to have in 2021 us be shut down for the entire summer during these rainstorms. So it was a challenging piece. But one of our sponsors for this exhibit, our premier sponsor, Signal Restoration Services, was the organization that responded to our call. We called lots of different companies to come out and with the cleanup and the restoration, and Signal was one of the only to respond, and they did a fantastic job. And for them to come back and sponsor this exhibit and help us get back going is amazing. And so our IMAX theater is being restored as we speak. There are new seats that have been put in that were created by Magna. We've got some new films. I think it's called Asteroid Hunters, about asteroids that are whizzing by the Earth all the time that we sometimes don't see. Scientists don't see them until the last minute.
Oh, wow.
So you'll get those reports on the news that say, hey, we just found out that a giant asteroid the size of 3 blocks long just went past the Science Center between the Earth and the Moon. So we want to make sure that we know what's going on in our universe and getting that out there. And our IMAX theater is the perfect place to do that. So we're reopening that. And just to add something even more cool, which I guess is kind of a fun thing for people as well, is that we added a 5-channel digital laser system in which we can also have laser shows in our IMAX theater. So the IMAX theater is going to be doing double duty this summer, and it's something cool for you and your family to come and check out.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to have to definitely do that and take the nephews. One thing I wanted to mention before I let you go was that, so many of these museums and organizations, they're going ahead and they're adding on extra fees. If you want to go see a certain exhibit, it's more money. I noticed that when it comes to this POPnology, this is rolled into the cost of admission.
That is true. We met last week just to talk about what we're going to do about inflation and the rising costs. Obviously, it affects us with all of our services. We do an incredible amount of outreach throughout the state of Michigan, and that costs fuel prices for them to go up as dramatically as they have. Really impacts our budget. But we decided that what we wanted to do was to diverge from that and actually stick with our current fees. And the primary reason why we are doing that is to make sure that we remain affordable. It's nice to talk about science, technology, engineering, and math, get it out to families, young people, adults that are interested, geeks and nerds like yourself that want to see this stuff. But if it's not affordable, you'll never see it. If it's not something that you can access, what's the point in having it? So we're trying to do everything we can with our funders, our sponsors, specifically our premier sponsor for POPnology. This is pop culture and technology meeting together in a 9,000 square foot exhibition. It's Signal Restoration Services. They really helped us out of a tough time when we had extreme water damage and our sewer backup last year. And so they have allowed this exhibition to be free with admission. So our admission is $18 for adults and $14 for seniors and children. We even are going to be running our Blue Star Families program for active duty military to get in free this summer. So that'll be fun as well. So accessibility is the key. And when you're also relevant with something like pop culture meeting technology and POPnology this summer, you can do it all. We'll have astromech droids, R2-D2. There'll be the replica of the Back to the Future DeLorean. We have an ET photo op. There's even an alien statue with H.R. Geiger's rendition of the alien creature, a 3D printed car, the first one ever created. We have a social media photo booth, Oculus Quest, VR station. It's a ton of stuff. And actually, one of my favorites, which is we have HAL 9000 from the 2001 Space Odyssey films. If you're familiar with HAL, that incredible computer, remember from the film that was actually in 1968?
I am, Dave.
We have a little photo op for that. Yeah, there you go. You got it. Open the pod bay doors, Dave. So this is one of these things where, we can take people into these spaces and use the pop culture as a way to inspire and motivate people to explore science, technology, engineering, and math. So come down this summer, check us out. We're going to be opening next week. So it'll be fun and exciting for the kids, a safe environment, and one that's affordable.
For sure, for sure. Well, Dr. Christian Greer, Michigan Science Center, thank you so much. You can find out more at my-sci.org. I'll have a link in the show notes. I appreciate your time and see you in the Cultural Center.
Yep, thank you for having us on the show, and we'll be excited to see you when you come down.
I love it when I get the chance to do something fun and highlight, something more on the nerdy side. All right, well, for the rest of this week, we've got a great set of shows planned. Cheyenne Nocerini is coming by tomorrow. We're going to talk about all the stories around town, interesting things that have caught our eye. Thursday, Julia Music from Ferndale Pride that's coming up this June 4th will be in the studio outlining everything that's happening, plus, what's going on in the community. And then, of course, Friday, Devin O'Reilly will join us in studio because that's what he does. All right. With that, I'm Jer Stays. Thank you so much for listening. Take care of each other, and we'll see you around Detroit.